Welcome to the video series of advanced algorithms. I recommend this video series for those who have a complete knowledge of the algorithms 1 course at IIT Kharagpur or any other equivalent course. And for this particular video, you must have a basic idea of the concept of approximation algorithms, like the definition and what do we mean by an approximation algorithm and stuff. So today we look at one famous classical problem in the area of computer science, which is a 0-1 knapsack problem. And most of you might be knowing the dynamic programming algorithm. But today we'll discuss in great details of this dynamic programming algorithm, what are the flaws with this algorithm, and how are we going to fix the flaws in that algorithm. So let me define the problem for the sake of completeness. So in a 0-1 knapsack problem, we are given a set of n items where each item I has a value Vi and a size Si. And we are given a knapsack which has a capacity B. And all these values Vi, Si and D are positive integer. So our goal is to find a subset of items S which belongs to this set such that it maximizes this expression, which is sum of the values of items in the set S, and it should satisfy this condition where the sum of the sizes of items in set S should not exceed B. So this is the dynamic programming algorithm, and this way of representation of dynamic programming is little bit different from what most of you might have seen before. So the earlier algorithm for this 0-1 knapsack was that those also used to be dynamic programming, but those had a running time of order nw, where order nb, where b is this capacity. But in this algorithm, we'll show that the running time is order n minimum of b comma v, where v is the sum of values of all the items. So let me give you an explanation of this dynamic programming algorithm. So begin with a list A1. Okay, so this list has some pairs which has two values. So the first value denotes this sort of, you can say, the size of an item, and the second value denotes the value. So in this in this pair, the first value denotes a size and the second value denotes a value. So what we do, we follow this algorithm, and I'll explain the terminologies of this algorithm. So first we initialize, so we have a for loop from j is equal to 2 to n, and we initialize aj with the previous list aj minus 1. Okay, so for each pair in aj minus 1, we take the jth item and we check this condition for each pair t comma w, and if this is satisfied, then we add this particular pair to aj, and if not, we don't add. And at the end, we remove dominated pairs, which I'll explain later what do we mean by dominated pairs. And after all this, when we get the final list an, then we'll return the maximum w. Like if we consider all the pairs t comma w in an, we'll return the maximum w and the subset s of items included in the knapsack. So let me explain you the terminologies. So basically we maintain an array entry aj, or as I was calling it before, a list, and each entry is a list of pairs t comma w. So a pair t comma w in the list of entry aj indicates that there is a set S which is a subset of 1 to j, such that the sum of items in that set, sum of sizes of items in that set is t, and it should be less than equal to b, and sum of values of that of the items in that set S is equal to w. So that's what we mean by this pair t comma w. So it means that t comma w basically implies a feasible solution. And now you might get a rough idea why we take maximum of w, because an basically denotes all possible feasible solutions for items 1 to n, and in that we'll be obviously choosing the maximum value w, which denotes the value here, as you can see, this value. So that's why it's this algorithm, like it's sort of logical to return the maximum value w from the final list an. Now let me define this particular statement number 8. So we say a pair t comma w dominates another pair t dash w dash if t is less than t dash and w is greater than or equal to w dash. So it's basically like you have a selection of items where you are occupying less space and you are getting more value. So it's sort of more value than this particular selection. So it's sort of illogical to consider this pair when you have something better. So that's why we remove. So basically this pair dominates this pair, so this pair becomes a dominated pair, and we remove all such pairs from AJ. So at the beginning of iteration of the auto for loop, means at this point we have no pair in AJ which is dominated by any other pair in AJ. For this outer loop I mean the AJ minus 1 after the completion of the loop and when we come here. So AJ has tuples of the form T1 W1 up to TK WK with this T1 less than T2 up to TK and W1 less than W2 up to WK. It's quite easy to see why it will be of this form. And by induction on J, we can prove that AJ contains all non-dominated pair corresponding to feasible sets S belonging to 1 to J. So like if you take any collection of items from 1 to J, provided that it is feasible, so you make a like a list of all those pairs, and then if you remove the dominated pairs, you will end up with AJ. You can do it by induction. So it would mean that the final list which we get AN, it will consist of all the non-dominated pairs, and then this particular statement will be obviously true, because if we have all possible collection of non-dominated pairs, then the highest value W will be our answer. Like the pair which contains highest value of W will be our answer. So that's why this algorithm is correct, and most of you might be seeing this type of dynamic programming algorithm for our knapsack problem. As I explained before, the main reason for doing this was the running time will be n times minimum of b comma v, where v is summation of values in the set I, this set I. So just let me give you an intuition why it will be minimum of b comma v, because as you can see here, the list size, in the list AJ which we are creating, we have distinct values of t and we have distinct value of w. So it means that either these t's can take at most b plus 1 values, and these w's can take at most b plus 1 value, and so whichever is minimum, that will be the maximum size of the list AJ. And if you remove this pair dominated pairs appropriately, there's an implementation where you can remove it appropriately, and then you can later return the subset S of items. Then you can get this running time. The DP which most of you might have seen, it's directly n times b. So so that is little bit worse than this particular DP. But let me discuss the problem with this algorithm. So suppose if b and v is 2 to the power n, like with this respect to n, it's not bounded, so it can be 2 to the power n. Then the input size is still n to the power some constant, because we can represent these values in binary using n bits. But the running time is clearly exponential. So these type of algorithms, we call it as pseudo polynomial algorithms, because if v and b were stored in unary instead of binary, then the algorithms would have been polynomial. But it's not. That's why we call it as pseudo polynomial algorithms. And this problem, if you know about the concept of NP hardness, then this problem is NP hard. Now let me take you through some terminologies such as p-TAS and f-p-TAS. So basically, let me explain you in simple terms. For an algorithm, like if you present an algorithm which is 1 plus epsilon approximation algorithm for minimization problem, or a 1 minus epsilon algorithm for maximization problem, and in our case it's a maximization problem, then we call that as p-TAS. And if the running, but in this case in p-TAS, the running time can be exponential with respect to 1 by epsilon, but it has to be polynomial with respect to n. But in fully polynomial time approximation scheme, the running time should be polynomial with respect to 1 by epsilon. So we present you with an fp-TAS for 0-1 knapsack problem, whose running time is polynomial with respect to n and 1 by epsilon. So let m be a variable which denotes the maximum value of any item in set I. And let us define a variable mu such that its value is some epsilon times m by n. Epsilon is a given value, so that our aim is to calculate 1 minus epsilon approximation algorithm. And then we define variables for each item, sort of its new values. So vi dash is vi by mu and its floor. So basically it's greatest integer function of vi by mu. And we run the algorithm 1 for knapsack instance with values vi dash. So instead of vi, we now consider vi dash as the values of items in I, and we run the algorithm 1, which is this dp. So let me take you through the analysis of this algorithm. So first observe that v dash, which is the sum of vi dash, it is bounded by an polynomial factor, like its order n square by epsilon. So the algorithm 2 running time will be n times minimum of b comma v dash, and its value will be order n cube by epsilon. So it's clearly polynomial with respect to n and polynomial with respect to 1 by epsilon. So by definition of vi dash, this particular inequality will hold. So let S be the set of items returned by the algorithm, and O be an optimal set of items which gives the maximum value. So clearly you can see m is less than equal to OPT, where m was the maximum possible value vi. So the sum of, so let S be the set of items returned by algorithm. So its value, like the sum of values in the set S is summation Vi, where I belongs to S, and this is greater than equal to mu times summation I belongs to S Vi dash, because it's because mu times Vi dash is less than equal to Vi. And then for Vi dash, our algorithm, so if the values of the items were Vi dash, then we are getting the optimal value. So its value will be greater than equal to any set, and its value will be greater than equal to the set O, which is the optimal set of items if the values of our algorithms were Vi instead of Vi dash. So if you expand this and use this inequality, then you'll get this expansion, and then mod u is at most n, so you'll get this n mu, and n mu is epsilon times m because of this. And then we already showed that m is less than equal to OPT, and summation of items in O is also OPT. So we have OPT minus epsilon times OPT, which is equal to 1 minus epsilon times OPT. So this clearly an 1 minus epsilon approximation algorithm, and since its running time is polynomial with respect to n and 1 by epsilon, this is an FP task. Thank you.